up, everyone? So today we are on our way up to my buddy Tony's house. He has a really cool extended cab dually first gen. A couple years ago he did kind of like a frame off restoration on it. Went through and did a really nice good like paint job and stuff on the frame and on the chassis, whole lower end, but all the body work is all original paint and really cool patina. When he got the truck, it was an automatic. He swapped into a Get Rag, and he's planning to do a lot of traveling with the truck. He's got a set of compounds on it. The clutch he had wasn't holding the power, and he decided that he's going to swap trannies again. I kind of convinced him to do a G56, so that's how it planned out, and he's putting a G56 into a first gen. So we got a bunch of stuff in the back of the truck here. We are loaded up, and we're going to go up there to give him a hand taking care of stuff. He already started doing some stuff like taking the tranny out, which I'll put up a little snapshot of here of him getting the transfer case out by himself.
Well, Kyle wants content. We're gonna pull this NP205 out without a tranny jack because I am a machine. So the cost of a jack is probably cheaper than a back replacement, but we don't really give a shit. Let's see how this fucking goes. Oh boy, this is gonna fucking hurt. Fuck. We're committed. Oh, we got it. We got it. Ugh. Not bad. Not bad at all.
But other than that, it's not going to be this is how you pull and install a tranny. It's going to be, these are all the specific things that you need to do when you're doing a G56 into a first gen. There's not a lot of info out there. It's been done before, so we aren't the first ones, but there's not a lot of info out there. So try to piece some things together, and ultimately it's going to be a really cool truck once it's done. So stay tuned.
Anubis. Fucking dogs.
All right, we're under Tony's truck. We're working on doing a G56 swap. So we got the clutch all up and in, flywheel torque, pressure plate torqued, all stuff like that. Not going to go into much detail on that because I already have a video out on that, and it's just a dual disc clutch, nothing real special. But anything real specific to doing a G56 swap is what we'll focus on here. So once we get the tranny up in, we make sure that that's actually in the right spot. The hole for the shifter, we patched up the hole from where the Get Rag was. We'll tell you what that measurement is once we know. But really underneath, nothing really major got modified. Couple little hits with the dead blow on the side. The pinch weld up on the top, he bent up just for clearance. If you have a 4-inch exhaust, it's really tight, but it does fit. And then just on the top of the tranny, there's a bracket that he lopped off just to make some more clearance. But overall, it is definitely a much bigger tranny, but it does fit up in there. So now is going to be the fun part of getting this in. He's had it in before without the clutch, so he knows that everything's good. But this will be the first time with the clutch in place, so we're going to go for it. So we got pretty lucky, and the transmission went up in place. Probably one of the easiest trannies that we've put in. Over here on the cross member, we are utilizing a Metal by Charlie mount. So that bolts to the bottom side of the G56. And it lets you use the existing cross member. The only thing that you have to do is we welded up the old holes that was from the Get Rag, and then we just drilled 2 new holes in here. And then this cross member moves 2 holes back. So your front hole will end up going into the rear hole, and then you'll just drill those extra 2 holes in the frame, and you'll have to do that for the bottom and for the top side for the wings as well. But other than that, it's not bad. It's a very tight fit. We did have to jack up the front of the motor to pitch the back of the engine down a little bit, but it did go in pretty nice and smooth. Transmission is in, cross member is in, holes are drilled, main bolts are in. Just how ours was laid out, we did have to make a flat spot on the washers just to clear the radius of the cross member. Your mileage may vary, but Every truck's a little bit different with it, but Charlie's mount is nice, made it work pretty easy. And then, like I said, just the cross members up in place. The only thing now is just to move the 2 top holes for those bolts over, so that way the wings can go in. Other than that, the only other thing that has to be modified under here is going to be the exhaust, just because the bump out in the exhaust to make it around the cross member, that wing is now in a different spot because the cross member is back further, so we'll just have to extend a section for that to get that there. But it's a tight fit all the way up and around, but it does fit in there pretty good. So with the hydraulics set up, ended up getting a hydraulic kit from a second gen, was it 94 to 02 you said?
98.5 to 02.
So 24 valve second gen setup, 98.5 to 2002. You do need to, for us, we did have to shorten the rod. So we cut it just past the big shoulder here, and we cut, there was just about 1 1/16 out of it. And that when this gets put together, that'll put it at 6.5 inches from the firewall flange to the eyelet. And that's what we measured on the truck. And that's what we're going to run with. This one is adjustable, so we do have some wiggle room as well to be able to kind of fine tune the pedal adjustment. But just something to keep in mind again for doing this G56 swap. Got the piece welded back up together, and then we also made a small little bushing that fits the rod end of this to fit the pin that's on the factory pedal. Alternatively, you could take the pedal out and use a shoulder bolt, drill and tap the pedal assembly, and then use it'd probably be a 1/2 inch shoulder bolt for this, but a little bushing works just as well, so this will get put in place now. When you're mounting up the master cylinder, it's kind of a pain to get in. It only goes in one way. Yep. We did have to shim out the mounting surface just a little bit with some material of your choice, and that'll give it a nice solid mount so it's not walking around. One of the last things that needed to get done was adapting the transfer case linkage, which is here, to the transfer case. So we are still running the MP205 transfer case on the back side of the G56. We reached out to Charlie at New Era Performance, or Metal by Charlie on Instagram, and he had a prototype bracket, which is here. At the time of this, it's not something that's released yet, but I believe he is working on it. But if you are doing the swap, reach out to him. I'm sure he'd be willing to help you out. But that bracket mounts to the transmission and then gives your linkage a place to mount to here. And the only thing we had to do here was cut and lengthen with a little bit of a jog, so that way the linkage would attach from the actual lever down to the transfer case. So here you can see the original hole from a get rag, and I guess approximately 5.5 inches or so back, center line to center line is where you want to cut the hole, and your square hole just gets matched to the size of your shift tower. So this one's roughly 5 by 4. So that fits pretty well. There's enough room around here where you'll have access to your shift tower, but then still be able to have a boot around for everything. All right, so at this point, I reached out to Tony, and he got some miles on the truck, and I said, hey, can you just grab some extra content that I didn't get while I was up there, go through, kind of show an overview of the truck, the G56 swap, maybe any details that we missed, and then if you have a chance, go for a little drive, get some in-cab footage, and of course, he said, sure, no problem. So here's a video that he sent me after. It's a quick little recap, and then a couple days later, he goes, hey, just got a new GoPro, looking forward to getting it set up and using it for the first time. I'm going to go get some in-cab footage for you, which shortly followed by, hey, the truck has a blown rear end. This is going to have to wait till next year. So unfortunately, this is going to be it for Tony's truck for this year. Next year, we're going to get the intake done and any other loose ends kind of wrapped up. But Tony did start up his own YouTube channel recently, so go over, give him a subscribe, take a look and see what he's got going on. He just bought a new Viper, which is really cool, so check that out, and looking forward to getting more work done on Tony's truck and some collaboration of the two channels.
So this is my 93 W350 that me and Kyle G56 swapped. It's compounds, pump work, just typical stuff. Nothing too crazy. Working on an intake. We'll get to that another time. This is the truck. see, G56 is inside there.